I was interested in the notion of the hinterland and in the idea of looking at the city from the outside, you know, looking at a kind of a negative of what the city is, right? We have basically lost or forgotten this understanding that city is in basically a kind of a physical, irreducible relationship with a broader territory where its, you know, resources come from, right? And we do not have anymore that type of a holistic view of the positive and negative as something which is working together, right? And so the point is, are we forgetting something? Are we making the mistake? Is there a kind of a relationship that we need to restore, you know, conceptually, to make it part of our, let's say, inquiry of the way that you know, cities are being you know, planned and produced and governed, you know, or is the system in which we are working really fundamentally different, so that we can in a way keep those relationships really abstract, let's say. One could say the vulnerability is, of course, in the fact that Singapore is an island and that it is a city-state and that it does not have any natural resources, it does not have, let's say, open spaces, agriculture, it imports everything, as you mentioned, from, you know, construction materials to people, to water, to food, etc. And it was immediately fascinating to try and understand how do they really do that, and, you know, where do they find the confidence for this type of you know, understanding of themselves. The Straits of Singapore that used to be either open or a fluid border through, you know, entire, you know, human history, suddenly we had such technology, you know, that we are actually able to control the flow of people, you know, to actually divide it. The logistical areas required and the belonging industries, I mean, if you look at the petrochemical and so on, all of that exerted such pressure on the coastline of Singapore that we can see that, let's say, large parts of it dedicated to industry or, you know, port facilities or to security, right? So basically, from island condition, which, let's say, interacts with the sea, we have a kind of a interiorized city surrounded by a big belt of, you know, industry, of logistics, of you know, security zones and so forth. So basically, you know, Singapore is nowadays to a large extent connected to the outside world via the airport, and, you know, the kind of perception of you know, its integration into the region, you know, through, you know, via the maritime space is really reduced. I mean, in everyday life, you know it very well. You know, you can live in Singapore for years, and basically you don't even have to see the sea.